Hey y'all! And welcome to the Sorry Not Sorry Generation podcast, where we bring you a not-so-healthy dose of humor and reality as we get our hands dirty with some serious nostalgia and question everything.
Let's dive in.
Hey
Hey y'all!
It's Misty.
It's Ani.
And we have a special guest today, my dear friend, Ariel.
Hi.
Ariel's agreed to be a guest on one of our D&D sessions, by the way.
Hey! That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It'll be a few episodes in, just for one thing, because I already know where in the plot it's going to happen, so. So you and I, when it gets much closer to that, because it's a little ways off at this point, when it gets much closer to that point, we'll have to have a character discussion, so.
Okay.
So there's just a basic general idea for you that's to give you an idea what's going to go on. But that's assuming getting to that point isn't entirely derailed by utter bullshit that is going to happen in the process. So
This is very fair, because you know it is.
Like, not only do I know you and I'm getting to know Aaron, but you're both brand new D&D players. So the level of bullshit that's going to happen is going to be a lot. So I'm expecting many unexpected things. So luckily I have improvisation skills. So
Yeah, I gotta work on mine.
I don't need you to work on yours and get more unpredictable than you already are. Thank you. Like, let's not not do that.
Okay.
Don't kill me as it is. You've already day one, she asked me for wings for her tiefling. Like, day one, she's like, "Can I fly?" And I'm like, "No."
But I want to fly. I want wings.
Your tiefling doesn't get wings.
Unless it's a variant tiefling.
This is true, and there are specific subclasses that get wings too of sorcerers, but no wings in your shadow sorcerer. Not yet. You can find a magical item that has wings. I don't need you flying into trees, girl. You gonna fly into trees.
Not wrong.
I like how the one time Dumbledore shows up, it's to save Trelawney. And it's just like, okay, but Dumbledore, you were keeping your distance from Harry for a reason. Because you were worried that Voldemort would sense their connection and everything like that. So he tried to avoid Harry. Why are you avoiding literally everyone else in the school too? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You're avoiding all of the teachers, all of the students, all of literally everything else.
Because he literally doesn't care about the other students.
Oh, that's fair. I'm not sure he's aware there are other students, to be honest.
Outside of Ron, Hermione, and Harry, and Hermione and Ron are like very small compared to.
Do you realize that Hermione's like world is crumbling right now because she cannot be in class, she cannot learn, because Umbridge won't teach them anything.
Like, this is where Hermione really starts to go like away from her like directly rule followingness. She's like learning that rules aren't everything as long as she gets what she wants in the end.
I think that's why this book was my favorite, is because I related to Hermione so much.
Yeah.
Especially being a homeschooled Christian mother. And with the ridiculousness that I learned, that I'm like, this ain't it. I'm gonna go learn some other things my way.
That's fair. That's very fair. And like Hermione, I love Hermione, but in those early books, she gets so annoying because of how rigid she is with all of the rules. And it's just like, you have to learn to let something go. And this is the point in her, in her development where she learns that there are more important things than rules. And, being angry about somebody torturing your friend with blood magic is one of them. Of course, none of them ever really get to the point where they do the intelligent thing and inform an adult, which would have been great.
Does McGonagall pick up on it eventually?
I don't remember, but like, I have a really hard time believing that, considering how many people she was doing it to, and various age ranges too, because like there was at one point where the twins were comforting like a first year or something like that.
Yeah.
That like none of the teachers pick up on this. Like, I sorry, I don't believe that you don't notice that these students are getting injured and like walking around with huge bandages on their hands and stuff like that. You're telling me not a single student walked in to like the medical wing like at all?
My gut is telling me. My gut is telling me that McGonagall picked up on it, but she couldn't do a damn thing about it.
Like, I don't understand how you could stand there and like, hey, they're torturing these kids with blood magic, and then like, I don't like Rita Skeeter, but she would have eaten that shit up.
Oh, Hogwarts would have been closed down the next
instant. You walk up to Lucius Malfoy and tell him his son is in danger of getting tortured with blood magic, and watch that whole fucking school crumble to the ground. Like, I don't like Lucius Malfoy and I don't like Rita Skeeter, but you can weaponize that kind of bullshit. Like, you could turn that against them, and they should have. They should have done literally anything, because even like if you didn't like go with like Lucius Malfoy or something, like Neville's grandmother is crazy and strict as shit. She would have lost her damn mind. Like, she would have walked into that school and burned it to the ground. Like, the school would have left itself. Like, you wouldn't have had to worry about it. Hogwarts is sentient. It would have left. It would have seen that woman coming and been like, nope, and just left. And like, no, like, I don't understand how you don't go to like a newspaper or something, anything, because you can't tell me that Rita Skeeter wouldn't have eaten that up for the scoop of a lifetime of like to get like Fudge disposed of like of his position and everything. It would have been amazing. She would have loved it just for the pure gossip of it. You spin a little romance story in there between Umbridge and Fudge too. Oh, it would have been beautiful. Oh, it could have been beautiful and an epic destruction, and you could have used your own worst enemies to do it. It would have been lovely, but they didn't think of any of that. But like, and what really surprises you is Hermione, who traps a woman in a jar for a year, didn't use her leverage over to be like, hey, here we go.
Yeah, right.
Harry, darling, you refer to Cedric as watching a friend die before your eyes. You had like 3 conversations with this boy, max, and it was one talking about dragons, then him telling you to take a bath, which is still weird, and like maybe another conversation after that. But you can't really call him a friend. I'm not entirely sure you know his last name.
Well, and like
Cedric's best friends made those pins, the Potter Stinks pins.
Apparently, was it? I thought Draco made those.
No, it was the Hufflepuffs. They did that.
Hufflepuffs are nasty. Like, didn't Draco? They made a song, right? Like Draco and the Slytherins.
Yes.
Some kind of song. Yeah. That's fair. The Weasleys are king song. That's right. Which is still, I would like to know what Draco did to get a bunch of Slytherins to get together for choir practice to sing about Weasley. And it's just like, okay. Like, look, there's a lot of like gay undertones in Harry Potter. None of them to me were ever like in the original series of reading of Dumbledore and Grindelwald, which was a surprise when we learned about that. But like, there was a lot of it in a lot of other ways. It just wasn't that. So, because like, you can't tell me the amount that Harry and Draco stare at each other is like normal heterosexual shit. Because like they moved when they made the movies, they make Slytherin and Gryffindor tables next to each other, so it makes more sense for them to be staring at each other all the time instead of opposite ends of the Great Hall, which is what it is in the book. So, you know, like, something's got to be going on. And Draco sits there and he thinks about, what can I do to put a song together for Ron Weasley? Like, Draco, sweetie. What? Because that's not something people typically do if they're not inclined to definitely be gay, at least on some level. So, but then again, Ron, the way he slobbered over Victor Crumb, so, you know.
I know.
Draco
Ron fangirling over Victor Crumb is hilarious.
like, I'm sorry, but just take a moment in your life to really think about a relationship between Ron Weasley and Draco Malfoy and the level of what the fuckery would happen out of that.
Oh my god, can you imagine telling the parents?
Imagine, like, their relationship succeeds and, like, they get married and now Lucius Malfoy and Arthur Weasley are in-laws. like take a moment to think of those holidays with the Malfoys and the Weasleys in the same space.
Oh god, the Malfoys in the burrow.
Oh my god.
The Weasleys in Malfoy Manor.
That too.
Like, I don't know who would be more upset about the arrangement, Arthur or Lucius.
Lucius.
I think instead of Arthur and Lucius, it would be Molly and Lucius. Because I feel like Arthur would be happy as long as his son is happy. Like, maybe a little, like, really, but Molly Weasley versus Lucius Malfoy is something only dreams are made of.
This is true. She did, like, try to actively break up Fleur and Bill. Like,
yeah. Like, the amount of bullshit that would happen between Ron and Draco from the outside forces of their families, of trying to get them to be separate. Like, this is not a ship I've ever even thought of, but the implications are beautiful and amazing. And I'm like, I don't want to read the fan fiction on it, but I bet there's great fan fiction out there on it. Because, like, Harry and Draco is probably the most popular ship in Harry Potter.
Oh God.
And, like, in a lot of ways it makes sense, you know. It's for one thing, it's the typical enemies to lovers bullshit. But, like, at the same time, and I can see it, but Ron and Draco would just be something else entirely, and that would be...
I'm picturing the fanfiction scenes that they're writing of them just going at it in bed, and I'm just getting such lovely images.
One, that was your first thought. That's your thoughts, not the Molly versus Lucius or anything else. No. This is that video that I sent you the other day about about that guy who was talking about how, despite the fact that he's 30, he's going to continue to read fan fiction because nothing beats reading fan fiction of Naruto topping Sasuke.
When you sent that to me, I'm like, okay, and then it got to that last point, and I'm like, I'm not sure I expected it to go that way.
I sent it to you because it was so unexpected, but so relatable. And I'm just like, oh, well, yeah.
Like, Ariel, if you've read any Kylux fanfiction, that is where my mind went.
Oh.
No. But
I don't read.
Now I'm tempted.
Do it. Look up Kylux.
Apparently, our friend Aaron reads a lot of it and sends it to Ani, and that's how I've heard about some of it. Because I don't know anything about Star Wars, so like it just like whoo goes right over my head.
No,
but
you don't, because you tried to tell me the names of the Star Wars movies you have seen, and I had to decode that to figure out. I'm like, I think this is this.
Space NASCAR didn't make sense.
That one actually I was able to put together. The Phantom Menace.
Space NASCAR, Space Romeo and Juliet, and
that would
the
be
first one with the chick.
That would be 7 with Rey.
Yeah. So, and Audie's the reason I've seen the one with Rey. So, because her and I are the ones that I went with her to the midnight showing, and that was the very first one I ever saw. So.
But don't worry, Ariel, we're gonna be changing this because Aaron has roped her into watching the original trilogy.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the next one's after number 7.
No, we're going with the original trilogy, like 4, 5, and 6.
I'm not looking forward to it, for the record. Just so we're all on the same page. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm a CGI snob, and I don't like anything made that long ago.
Oh, great! So you'll have plenty to say later when we get to Ground.
Yeah. I will understand your wedding better, though, and like the themes. So, like, it will make more sense to me. So, like, there's that. It's like, hey, what's this symbol? Like, and I won't know if like what is this? What is this, a good symbol or a bad symbol? So we'll watch them before your wedding, and like I'll know. I'll like, oh.
since like the rings we're getting are Luke and Leia themed. Aww. Although we do kind of have a little Anakin Padme thing going on with our, or at least that's what I'm pulling inspiration from Padme on clothing.
Oh yeah, because Misty was telling me about the dress, and I was going, yeah, it's very Padme.
Yeah, so I mean it'll be good, but at least this way I'll understand like the references and things like that, and I'll get it better. So
it's okay. You probably won't be the only one lost.
That's fair, but like as the maid of honor, I feel like I should understand the basics and not just like Luke, I am your father. So
like the mother of the bride probably won't understand majority of the reference.
That's fair. That's fair. I would be highly surprised if she like was a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm just like,
maybe she will, because my brother is a nut over Star Wars.
No, that's true. She might have seen them, which is still more than I have. But yeah, like we're gonna watch the original Star Wars movies, and I don't know if we're watching the other ones.
I don't know. I will let Erin decide if she wants to subject you to the rest.
The unfortunate part is if we did that on the podcast, we'd have to watch all of them. Like we couldn't just watch the one I haven't seen, because we can't just watch 4, 5, 6. I think 6 is the one I haven't seen.
You haven't made seen 4, 5, and no, 1, 2, and 3 are the ones that were made in the 2000s.
Yeah, but like if we watched 4, 5, and 6, we couldn't just watch 6, which is the one of that group I haven't seen. We'd have to watch 4, 5, and 6.
Oh yeah, that's the plan.
All of them? We're watching all 6 movies?
No, just 4, 5, and 6.
One positive thing that came
because they're the original ones that came out in the 70s.
Okay, the ones in the 70s. I'm talking about the ones in the 2000s.
No, we're not watching
those. 3 that came out in the 2000s.
No.
If we did watch them, we would have to watch all 3, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Which would mean I'd have to rewatch Space NASCAR and Space Romeo and Juliet. I don't want to watch Space NASCAR. Like, Space NASCAR was okay, but Space Romeo and Juliet, I didn't even finish. I watched like 2/3 of that movie, and I'm like, oh no, this is just Space Romeo and Juliet. Like regular Romeo and Juliet. Like, no. You know, or they put all the proclamations for this stuff on there, and like they put them on the wall and they hammer them in there. That wall, when they're done, is probably so full of holes. Like, I'm surprised it still stays put.
It's a magical school. Come on.
Also, I believe in the room of requirements, to get the door to unlock and reveal itself, you have to walk back and forth in front of it 3 times. Not the one Passover that Neville just did.
Also, and whatever he's thinking was very vague. Like, you have to be specific when you're doing your 3 passes.
I think at this point, even Hogwarts is pissed. And it's just like, nah, you're not doing blood magic bullshit in my school. Let's go. Like, let's do this. They're lucky they didn't open it and find a fucking dragon in there.
It's Fluffy's the hiding spot.
Oh, God. I mean, like, they were on the 7th floor. Like, this is on the 7th floor. And right before Neville, like, found this room, he ran into Crabbe and Goyle. What are Crabbe and Goyle doing on the 7th floor, not too far from the Gryffindor common room?
That's a good point.
They probably got lost, honestly.
Even Neville looks annoyed, like, at his spell failure.
I love how out of all the students that are here, Harry's the only one that knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
Like, the only, because like he's like the only one that has need or cause to like practice magic, because he's always no one's always trying to kill him.
Like, everything that the other ones have learned has all been bullshit magic. So
Filch is having such a hard on with being Umbridge's mole.
Filch is to Umbridge as Umbridge is to Cornelius Fudge.
Yes. Fair. I feel like Harry's a bad choice in teacher in the fact that I'm pretty sure he only knows one spell, and that's Expelliarmus.
Yes.
So, like, he spent a long time teaching people one single spell.
And yet, Ginny ends up being, like, a badass, because she was everything.
Of course, Ginny's a badass.
All of it.
You don't grow up with that many brothers and don't be a badass.
You don't grow
I like
up
how
with
nobody bets in favor of Ron when it's Ron versus Hermione.
Well, Neville did.
Oh, no.
He did a little
True. Yeah, he did the little fist
Oh,
pump, but he immediately regrets it. It's just like shit.
And I love how the twins are always betting on on stuff.
Always.
Ron's just like it's bad, and then the twins are like, obviously, she not only kicked your ass, she destroyed you in one move. I don't know why anyone would think you could beat her. Like, she's very textbook and everything, but at the same time, once Hermione learns something, it's not going anywhere.
All students would submit to questioning.
I hate that it's all the Ravenclaws. All this, it's not just, it wasn't just Cho, it was all the Ravenclaws except Luna, and I'm like, the hell?
Yeah, the Ravenclaws in the book were not great. The Ravenclaws are the ones who are picking on Luna too. And it's just that doesn't, they don't portray any house, with the exception of Gryffindor, in any positive light. They do it in a much less and more subtle way for the other houses, besides Slytherin. But for Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, they don't do very well by them either. Because like you said, they made the badges. The Hufflepuffs did the badges. And then the Ravenclaws are the ones, who snitched and everything like that. So
it was Cho's friend that that didn't want to go in the first place. But she reluctantly went because Cho was like, oh, I want to go.
Yeah.
But she only wanted to go because of Harry.
Yeah. So,
which is weird.
Your boyfriend literally just died, girl.
And this is the boy that saw him die. And you want to go out with him.
That's real weird, girl. She needs therapy. They all need therapy.
They all need therapy. And then when they were on that stupid date at that tea house, she goes off on him oh, Cedric wouldn't do this. And she's like,
and it's just I don't know what weird shit you're projecting, but I don't look like a vampire. Thank you very much.
Nothing more than what we are now.
I have a huge problem with the Slytherins being willing to work for Umbridge, because I really feel like they would have an issue with being subject to the government's lackeys control in that way, especially for someone who they probably absolutely don't respect. You can't tell me Lucius Malfoy doesn't go home and bitch about Umbridge. There's no way, because she would try to undermine all of them, because anybody who doesn't agree with Fudge. I think that she probably doesn't have a lot of good standing along most of the houses.
I would argue that Ginny in this movie is the closest to book Ginny that we ever get.
That's fair.
Earlier when they were on the bridge, she gets very upset when Hermione tells Harry that Cho was excited. You can see her pull away.
Yeah. It's because her character development pretty much ends in this movie. So in the next movie, she is mostly portrayed as kind of a slut more than anything else. She's she's all over that guy in the 3 broomsticks and everything, and then the shoelaces things in the next movies, and it's just no. They don't do Jenny. They not only don't do Jenny justice, they actively destroy her character.
No, they don't.
In the movie? The only interactions you really see from her is her making out with that dude in the 3 broomsticks, her making out with Harry, and then the weird, your shoelaces untied scene. And
yes, because in the movie it's really weird and awkward. Because in the book,
in the book she's great. In the book she's there's a lot of character development for her. In the movie they actively destroy the character development.
Okay, yes. In the movie they just fuck her over.
Yeah.
And even though this is the closest to book Ginny, it's still not good.
Yeah. I like how he's Harry's trying so hard to dismiss the twins. Guys, I'm trying to there's a girl. Come on, move. And the twins are just you're what is wrong with you? Pranks. Money, investments. And they're just why are you not interested in this? This girl needs therapy and definitely shouldn't be seeking a relationship directly after her boyfriend was murdered without some kind of intensive therapy. Also, how much of an age gap is there between Cedric and Cho at the time?
They're the same year, aren't they?
No, I don't think
Cho's
so.
a year older than Harry. And wasn't Cedric a year older than Harry?
Well,
No.
Cedric was a 7th year.
Yeah, because he had to be 17.
That's right. He had to be a 7th year. So 2 years between.
Because isn't Cho? I thought Cho was in Harry's year.
No, Cho is a year older than Harry.
All right, so I guess it's a 7th year and a 5th year. I guess it's not as terrible, but I don't know. There's a lot of questionable relationships in this series. I'm learning as we rewatch it. In all honesty, this is one of them. The weird Harry Cho making out. Okay,
so awkward too.
It is. There's zero chemistry.
They're like standing
at all.
rigid.
And I love Harry's explanation of it to his friends too. It's like it was wet because she was crying, and it's just like, Harry, what the fuck? It's just like, you kissed a sobbing girl. Like, that doesn't. What? What a terrible first kiss. I love Hermione trying so hard to explain feelings to these boys.
Hormones.
It's just like, does this just not make sense? Like, the thing too is her explanation of like the Cho's different many layers of feelings makes sense to me. And it's just like the boys are just like, she has more than one emotion at a time, like like is confused by the concept of multiple emotions. It's just like, really?
As someone who lives with a boy and has to explain female things to a boy, that's actually pretty valid, because there are times when I'm explaining the female the things that we have to deal with, and he goes, "Huh, I never thought of it like that."
Just, interesting.
It's like, huh? Like, I how do you not have all of these emotions in many layers all at once? And it's just like, you can feel like 6 different things at once, and I don't understand how people don't know that or feel that way. And it's just like, huh? Also, I never questioned it before, but why is Arthur Weasley in the Department of Mysteries? Nothing about his job should require him to go to the Department of Mysteries.
I think it was an order thing that he was there because of the prophecy.
Yeah,
I think they were on guard duty.
Yeah,
of that room.
Or looking down.
Because Ariel's right. It was definitely an order thing. I remember that. Like that was the reason he was there.
Also, will you please just tell me what's happening?
Never out.
He's purposely not looking at her.
which is weird because that doesn't stop anything. Like, if Voldemort's looking through him, he can still see you.
If he's looking through Harry's eyes, he can see that you are in Dumbledore's office. Like, come on.
Yeah, he can hear you talking to him.
And all you're gonna do is piss Harry off more. Like, and when you ignore a child, that's what happens. Like, don't.
That's very true. Like, Harry is freaking out. I feel so bad for Harry in this movie because nobody gives a shit. And, like, nobody's going to explain anything to him. It's just like, somebody please talk to this child. He needs something. Even, like, I don't like Snape, but even Snape walks in this room and, like, something is wrong. Like, what the fuck is happening? And if Snape looks at you like something's wrong, then something's really fucking wrong.
Really wrong.
Of course, I'm not sure how comfortable I'd be walking into Snape's office and he unrolls a giant thing of serial killer knives that he meticulously sharpens and cleans. Like, I'm alone with you in a dungeon with a lot of knives. That's horrifying.
A lot of vials of things that Harry has no freaking clue what they do. Because he might be good at Defense Against the Dark Arts, but he sucks at potions.
Yes, he does, which is sad considering his family invented a lot of different potions.
Yeah.
So. Also, why does Snape, because he's going to teach Harry, like, occlumency, why did Snape need knives for that? He didn't use any of them. He took the thing of knives, rolled them out on the table, then turned around and addressed Harry with a wand in his hand, not a knife. What was the purpose of the knives?
I think his wand was with him.
That would be so weird. Like, oh, when I don't want to use my wand, I just pull out one of my plethora of knives. I don't want to cast a spell. I just fling knives at people.
I just want to throw a knife.
Like, that was Snape's fighting style during the last war. He didn't even bother with spells. He just fucking threw knives at people. It would be more effective.
Efficient.
Honestly. Yeah. Because, like, what are you going to do? Like, counter charm? Like, a fucking knife coming at you?
I mean, it would take people off guard. Wizards would definitely not be expecting that.
Yeah. And in all honesty, see, that's why I think if Voldemort would have literally leaned into his Muggle heritage at all, like he could have had this whole thing won a long time ago. Like purchase one Muggle gun, no wizard would be prepared for that whatsoever.
How does Molly still not figure out which twin is Win after all these years?
It bothers me that Molly doesn't know her children apart. Like that's kind of weird to me. Like you should probably know which of your children is which. It always threw me off when I was younger because they say Happy Christmas rather than Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I didn't know like that was just like a British thing that they're like Happy Christmas, and it's just like I guess that makes sense, you know, like, but I don't know why we say Merry. So
I don't know.
Harry's just like, please stop putting me in the center.
Yeah, even his own friends and family are doing it. Like he's just like, please don't. Why does Sirius spend his free time staring at his family's tapestry? Like. That's just making it a lot worse for you, my dude. Surely there's something better to do.
I want to say that in the book, like Sirius did not go in that room.
Yeah, I think Harry found it first, but like Sirius stares at it a lot. I love Sirius, but he has terrible fashion taste too. Like, it's the worst fucking out. Like, that purple jacket on that green, like, whatever shirt is. And it's all in velvet. All of it's velvet. It's so weird.
That house has got to be musty as hell.
It's
with how much fabric is in that house.
Oh, yeah. Like, that wall on the stairs that's behind him, I can't even begin to tell you what material that is. It looks like wood, but that has had really old like fabric placed tightly over it. It's very, very disturbing looking. Also, this tree and the way they've portrayed it throughout this room is a branch that continues like outwards, not down. So technically this is a generation or two maybe, but it's not like listing whole like giant generations of families because it's just going out in a circle, pretty much displaying the current generation and then that's it. Or the current living generation and that's about it. Like, where are your records from like before your grandfather? Serious. Like it does. Like, can I scroll the wall down? Like, put my hands on it. Can I scroll it down and look through like centuries of history?
Can I cast my wand at it and just like have it like start circulating like a projector of all the generations?
It just doesn't make any sense every time I look at it. I'm like, what is the order of this at all?
Yeah. It doesn't make it like because you'll see like the cousins and like Bellatrix and her sisters and everything on. It doesn't make any sense. Also, I don't think we ever see Draco on this, and which is weird because he should definitely be on this, considering his mom. But it's I don't know. They didn't put a lot of thought into this wall. So,
what if I become bad?
And finally, somebody actually has a conversation with Harry. Like, holy, it only took most of the school year for somebody to look at Harry and like, your reactions are valid and your feelings are valid. You're not becoming the next Voldemort. It's really sad. It took 6 months for somebody to look at this kid and be like, you're not evil, Harry. And the convicted convict had to be the one to tell you that.
Is it Sirius who says that we all have good and bad in us?
Yeah, the light and dark inside of us, yeah.
To act on? Is it this moment too?
I think it was in the station when right after he turned into a dog at the train station. I think it was that. And I always feel bad that Harry loses Sirius. Like, it's just so not.
Harry's not meant to have any kind of like familial relation.
I mean, that's a theme they keep up in The Cursed Child, apparently, because that's a shit book. So
we don't need to go there.
Oh, I did not like that stupid book.
That reads like a really bad fan fiction. So, like a really bad was written by a 12-year-old fan fiction.
No, just ditch Cho. Don't tell her anything. Just...
Need to tell her anything. That's how this whole series operates. Don't tell anyone anything ever. I like how Umbridge is just like, you've been away for your health and you're covered in like wounds on your face and you live in what is essentially a hovel. Yes, your wherever you went was clearly better for you than this.
Screw you. Like, what is the point of like spraying his house down? Like
just gonna little spritz on the front door, like
an X, like,
yeah,
rid of this.
Like she's just officially written it off in her life with perfume. She's like, nope. Wouldn't it have made more sense to send a giant to deal with the giants rather than Hagrid?
Yes.
Like, it would have made more sense to like become. Why couldn't have they put in the effort to like become friends with a giant who they could then talk to the other giants? But instead of like genuinely just being friends with other species, they're like, we're just gonna send the next best thing and then go and you exploit that part of yourself and go try and do it.
From what I remember in the books, the giants don't really like the wizards.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the wizards don't like the wizards, so
I mean, true.
None of the other sentient species like the wizards, though, to be honest. So, like, the centaurs don't like them. The merpeople don't like them. Maybe it's because they get treated like absolute garbage by the wizards. The goblins don't like them.
Sounds about accurate. Oh, look, Bellatrix is out.
Really explain how they got off the island. Because you have to make the assumption that even the more powerful wizards and everything like that couldn't apparate without a wand. So, like, do they just hitch a ride on the Dementors? Just like a broom, just jump on a Dementor? Whee!
Oh my God.
It's like, you, come here. Drive me away.
And I never realized until you see that up close of Azkaban itself how many jail cells there must be in this place.
And Filch somehow still doesn't believe anything Dumbledore is saying.
Oh.
Not Filch, Fudge.
Yeah. They both have the same IQ levels, so.
I mean, Seamus gets it together before Fudge.
For once. And I'm sorry, but is anybody else reading the names of the cereal boxes? One of them was like Owl O's or something like that. Like, that's adorable. He was got a giant.
Owls.
Yeah, it had like the giant owl word on it. It was adorable. Just like that's the magical version of Cheerios. It's Owl.
I love how, like, as the actor that played Neville got older, they had to physically uglify him.
Yeah, they had to put him in like a fat suit and everything like that. Yeah. Because to be
he
fair,
got so
out of
hot.
all of them, he was the best looking at the end of these movies.
Yeah.
He
had one hell of a
what
glow up.
happened. I don't know what the hell happened to the other ones, but at the end of those movies, like, Neville is the best looking one out of all of them. It's just like, all right.
This is one of those parts that I really hate that they took out the hospital scene.
Yeah.
Where you can see just how badly screwed over Neville's parents are. So that little confession he just did has like more weight to it.
That's true. Rather than just being like a random subplot point for later. And it's just like, you know, you could have given Neville more depth than that.
Protect you for as long as you stay focused. So focus, Luna.
Teaching Luna Lovegood to focus. Ooh. Ooh. I still, the thing that drives me nuts about the Patronus is I don't know what memory I would use. Like, I don't know what memory I would use to conjure my most happy memory and everything. Of like, especially like in the heat of battle and everything, how do you focus enough on that memory to like summon a spell like that?
I'm being attacked. Think happy thoughts. Oh no. Things are rumbling.
Like when the castle starts to rumble, there's usually a good idea that you should probably leave.
Not just stand there and stare at where the rumbling is coming from.
The Room of requirements can make anything. I'd be having it make me a new door, like on the other side.
It did that earlier. Why isn't it doing that now?
Yeah.
I wonder if there was a way they could like have asked it to be like undetectable.
Yeah. If Harry hadn't have moved that child, Umbridge would have murdered that child.
She didn't care. She did it with a smile.
Yep.
She's way too happy
She
to be
is.
punishing these children.
That's what I've been telling you right from the beginning.
Oh god, here she is sucking up to Fudge.
All your
Her
fears
secret boyfriend and lover.
Fucking Percy, like
your lies.
I'd slug Percy in the face.
Seize control of the ministry. Naturally. No, Professor, he had nothing to do with it. It was me.
That's noble of you, Harry, to choose me. But as has been pointed out, the parchment clearly
I
says-
will admit, as many issues as I have with Dumbledore, his ability to exit a room is fantastic. Like, I aspire to that level of drama. Like, I wish I could be that dramatic.
Shacklebolt, you will escort Dumbledore to Azkaban.
Imagine trying to hold Dumbledore in Azkaban. Like, also, you're putting him in jail for students having a club named after him is what is boiling down to.
you're just grasping at straws that Dumbledore is secretly trying to get your position at the Ministry that he could have gotten years ago and he declined.
Yeah. Because he wants to manipulate children more than he wants to manipulate adults. That is still really cool. That whole, like, immediate timing of the clap and the phoenix, like, damn, all right.
Like a minister, you can't deny. Dumbledore's got style.
Dumbledore does have style. That's very fair. That's very accurate. Because he got the style.
The sad part is now Umbridge is in charge of the entire school. This is what I fear.
This is what I fear.
This is my Bogart right here.
Your Bogart in school like this.
The government coming in and taking total control. And I have no say anymore.
The question is, what do you fear more, the Texas government or the United States government?
Texas.
Texas? That's fair.
Especially the steps they're taking right now.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. You don't want a weapon with you and all of the other teachers in the classrooms? Yeah. That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Is she locking all the students in?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, these are now a prison school.
To take a test.
Yes.
I'm surprised she hasn't made them take the test with that quill.
Also, this scene always bothered me because, like, why are the twins taking the same test?
Yeah,
no,
they're and Luna's there.
Oh, they're in detention. My bad. This is not the.
Yeah, I thought it was the test. No, this is detention.
She looks like she's in the Game of Thrones on that throne, where she's just like enjoying her rule.
She is way too happy about it.
She is about torturing people.
Harry.
Nope. Fuck off.
She's like, fuck off, Joe.
It's like, you're the reason we're all dealing with this shit.
It's like, you're the reason we're all being tortured, so. Oh, look, Harry's wearing a different shirt. Oh, and it looks so new. It's because he's never worn it before. And he'll never wear it again.
But the string for the hoodie part is missing, so it's gotta be somewhat old.
Of course it is. It's Harry, in all honesty. He probably found it in a thrift store somewhere and bought it without one. I like Hagrid trying to sneak. Like, he's not half giant and just massive. He's just like, hello, I'm not 9 feet tall or anything like that.
Roll with disadvantage, Hagrid.
Like, why wouldn't you just send an owl?
Okay, the CG in this scene deteriorates.
It does. Like, these kids gotta quit following Hagrid into the Forbidden Forest. Like, nothing good comes from this. They're
You won.
constantly doing this.
You're right. Year 1, Voldemort. Year 2, spiders.
And everything tries to eat them. Like, Jesus. Like, Harry followed him into the forest and found dragons in the fourth one.
And
like,
now we gotta
geez.
deal with a half-giant. Another half-giant. That's more giant than Hagrid.
I thought he was full giant. Is he not?
Is he full giant?
I think he's full giant.
Yeah.
They have the same mom.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
full
the
giant.
same.
A toddler full giant. He's completely harmless as his face gets close to mine.
Is he like? I don't care how like harmless he is. He suspends you in midair. I would have a problem.
You have him tied to a tree. He's harmless.
And you think that's he's harmless, but I feel the need to tie him to a tree.
Hermione using her teacher voice.
That checks out.
It works. So yeah. Like, maybe your half-brother looks sad because you have him tied to a tree, Hagrid. Why is he here?
Or maybe
Why
he's
did you...
because
like,
he knows his CG is awful.
He knows he's not being done justice with his looks.
Yeah.
The worst CG in the entire series.
Yeah. Definitely. Somebody
Ring bell.
Like a bicycle handlebars.
So awkward.
It is.
He gets his own food and all.
How does he get his own food, Hagrid? You have him tied to a tree.
He just leans down and grabs whatever comes near him. Oh, it's a centaur. It's fine. It's lunch.
Oh,
How does anything come near him? I would stay the heck away.
One of Aragog's children decided he wanted to go out for a snack, and he ended up being a snack.
Feeling sentimental.
That's right.
There's that
Also-
jacket maybe 3.
This method of teaching occlumency has to possibly be the worst teaching method humanly possible. Like, I'm just going to, instead of teaching Harry the basics, he just immediately just attacks his mind, doesn't tell him how to defend himself, how it works, the basics of what it is. He's just like, here, let's do this.
He just says defend.
Yeah.
Child torturing aside for Snape, he is a crap teacher. Like, he just writes the directions on the board and expects the kids to do what they're supposed to. No.
Yeah.
You have to go step by step by step by step. You can't just write the instructions and expect them to get it right.
Yeah. And, like, a lot of times he doesn't even write full instructions. He just writes ingredient lists.
Yeah.
Like, you need, like, half a pound of this or, like, whatever. Doesn't tell you whether you should crush it, chop it, like, mix it in a stew. Like, what are you doing with it? He's just so vague. I'm sure he's a great potions master. He's just the
We know
last person who should
Potions
be a
master
teacher.
with all the markings he did in his book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a great potions creator, but like he definitely under no circumstances should be allowed anywhere near children. Ever. Also, Harry, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but your
dad was a
father and
dick.
your godfather were severe bullies. And like probably Remus and Peter too. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
You
Peter
know.
did whatever he could to just stick around in the cool group, and Raymond was like, I can't control them, so oh well.
He doesn't do anything to stop them either.
No, he doesn't.
And it's just like, that's also terrible. Like, James and Sirius might be the ones, like, actually doing the bullying, but standing there and willingly let them do this repetitively is equally terrible. Like, come on, Remus.
I love how it was said that, like, they made Ramus, a head boy or prefect, in the hopes that he'd be able to control James and Sirius. It's like, no.
If you just gave them more free access. Like, it's not like it was just two people in this group that were, like, terrible or anything like that. It is a full-blown, like, quartet of terror. Like, that's just all there is to it. what fucking freak is over there being like, oh yes, this little 11-year-old deserves to be tortured?
I mean, I've met my fair share of 11-year-olds that I just want to punt across the fucking fence. So,
I mean, fair enough. But like at the same time, as much as I don't like children, I've never considering using blood magic to torture one before. You know, like maybe like putting a silencing spell on one of them so I never have to hear any noise they make ever again.
This is a pretty accurate portrayal of a standardized testing right here.
Yeah.
Especially the looks on their faces. Like, Ron was me. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what the heck this is.
Yeah, this is so confusing.
Can't talk.
Oh no, Umbridge, something is happening. It's out of your control.
Yep. Also, look how that document opens up. Like, my god. It unfolds in, like, multiple directions. Standardized testing was hard enough. Can you imagine trying to take the SATs or, like, the standardized testing? And it's like you're opening it and it's unfolding forwards and backwards and underneath.
Look, I don't know if, like, in Texas we had, like, we had a little, like, piece of tape on the side. Yeah. And you had to, like, tear it open. That was hard enough.
Yeah. And, like, to do it and not rip all of the pages in the process was such a pain. It's like, who thought to put a sticker on the world's thinnest paper? It was so annoying.
I love how some of the fireworks make a beeline straight for Crab, Goyle, and Malfoy.
Yeah. I will admit, that dragon firework is amazing. And whatever the twins did to create that it's incredible.
And how the filmmakers went from Grop to that.
I hope they didn't have to do more than one take of destroying those things. I couldn't even imagine how pissed I would be if you didn't get it in one shot. Have to clean it all up, then put it all back, and do it again. Like, oh no, I couldn't do that. And what a great advertisement for the store.
Kid in the back who's wearing fucking, like... Who's this kid wearing his plaid shirt while everyone's in their uniforms?
I think those are the younger students that don't have to take the test.
One of them is, I think, supposed to be Colin Creevy. I think that's who that is. And I think
or is it Colin's brother?
It's one of them. I think it's Colin Creevy because I think Harry addressed him by name and called him Colin.
Oh.
During one of the meetings. See, now this is the start of where Harry just loses all respect I have for him because he's freaking out and seeing a vision of Sirius, and instead of contacting anyone like Sirius, Dumbledore, McGonagall, Snape would have been an okay choice, literally anyone, he just immediately goes, we should leave the school on invisible beasts none of you can see.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you know you're going into a trap.
Mm.
Doesn't Hermione tell him to talk to an adult? And he's like,
probably.
No.
Yes.
Oh, they took all the portraits down, too.
Yeah, they ordered Filch to take them all. Can you imagine how tedious that would be? How many portraits are in that school and you have to take them all down?
With no magic?
Oh my god. I'm afraid I would just drop them straight down all of the floors. Because he has to go put them away. Like, I would just be like, you don't want these anymore? Okay, and then just let go. And be like, there you go. It's not like Filch gives a shit about whether or not a student gets hurt. So, like, even if one of them falls on a student, he's not gonna care.
Well, he did it happily because he did it for Umbridge.
Oh yeah, see, that is some kind of love triangle. If Fudge is in love with Filch, it's a perfect love triangle. Because you have Filch being in love with Umbridge, and Umbridge is in love with Fudge, and if you could get Fudge to be in love with Filch, it's perfect. She slaps the student!
One was bad enough, and now we resorted to physically, like, actually hitting these children, like, across the face.
Even Snape is staring at her like, what?
It's like, no, you don't get to take this from me. It's like, I want to slap this kid since I knew about him. Like, let me do it.
Yeah, he's like on the edge of being like, you go, girl, for slapping this kid I hate, but also like, I didn't get to slap him, but also some level of morality tells him that's probably not a good thing.
What is practical? Well, what are you talking about, Snape?
Look at her face. I'm not supposed to take her seriously.
Like, me.
Very well.
I like how at this point, because Snape is just like, I have no idea what he's talking about. She doesn't even try. She's just like, she knows she's not getting anything out of Snape at this point. She's just like, nope. She immediately goes to the Cruciatus curse.
And she puts Fudge's picture down so he can't see it. What she's about to do.
She can't let her lover see her indiscretions.
Smart for Hermione for leading Umbridge straight into the Forbidden Forest to Grop and the Centaurs.
Yeah.
And says the keywords right there.
Yeah. Dumbledore's secret weapon. She's the smartest witch of her age for a reason. Like, jeez.
Umbridge is definitely not, because she totally buys this crap from 15-year-olds.
Like, Umbridge is at this point so unhinged, like, that common sense is not registering to this woman.
Anything that will get her to stay in control.
Yep.
And feed the lies.
Also, I'd like to point out the rope did not work.
Yeah.
No, it did not.
No, it would. It's a rope, and like that size ratio of rope to giant is not enough.
I'm also surprised that the rope was like torn and not like half the tree trunks are missing.
Yeah, right. I'm impressed.
It's not attached to the tree.
Yeah, like I'm impressed that tree stayed put. I like how she's hiding now behind the students. Like, oh, I'm going to hide behind these little 15-year-olds now. Thank you.
I warn you.
This is racist Umbridge right here. Near human.
I will give her credit. Fast reflexes.
Yeah.
Because those arrows were fast.
This was her mistake by attacking a centaur.
Yeah. In their hometown. This is their area.
On their turf, yeah.
Yeah. Harry's the only one smart enough, like, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like, this is not gonna go well. I'm really surprised she survives this. Like, you honestly would just assume that they were going to kill her.
No, they do much, much worse to her.
I was not happy when she came back in book 7.
Like, happy wanted her to die. Like, just let her die.
I'm not happy that she came back either, but she came back a broken piece of human.
Yeah.
And I love it. There's no coming back from what those centaurs did to her.
Yeah, it's true.
Slow clap for Grop and the centaurs here. For
right?
Tom and I was hungry. He wanted some sweets. So he told me to phone Grop and ate a lot themselves.
And diminished Ginny right there.
Yeah.
She was the one who got them out. I'm not wrong.
Brilliant.
They do like to give Ginny's accomplishments credit to other people.
Well, and like half of Hermione's dialogue in the movie is actually Ron's dialogue. That's why Ron is so boring in the movies.
Yeah, and like all of this, a lot of the support for Harry that comes from Ron is all just given to Hermione. So it's like especially what was it in the third movie when they said if you wanted to go through Harry, you'd have to go through us too. That was Ron's line, not Hermione's.
Yeah, that was Ron's line.
So like, you know, I think I would be irritated at that.
Because like Ron is like the heart of the trio, but they give that to Hermione.
Yeah.
Even though she's supposed to be the brains.
Yeah. Harry's the brawn because he can't do anything but fight.
He's a jock.
Yeah, he's a jock. Hermione's a nerd, and then Ron actually,
Ron's the comic relief.
Yeah, that too.
But like in the movies, that's all he is.
Yeah. Imagine how terrifying it would be to ride on the back of something you can't see. So it is literally just you suspended in air, hoping that this creature you can't see is real.
This is the real reason why Hermione never wants to fly on anything ever.
I would like to know how they got into the Ministry and where exactly they left all the Thistles. Are they just wandering London streets, just
I don't know where they
visibly eating shit? Like, imagine like one walks by and like a Muggle's just walking along and it starts chewing on his hat.
I forgot how they got into the Ministry.
They used the same way Harry got in with
Arthur?
By
Arthur. They used
magic, right? Yeah.
The
toilets? Or the phone booth. The phone booth.
The phone booth.
Yeah.
Because Harry remembered the code, which was just magic.
Right.
The thing about the this area of the Ministry of Magic is it's supposed to be like super secret and hard to get into. And yet
there were like so many revolving doors and stuff that they had to go through to find it.
But why is it that every like defense capabilities of wizards is broken by students? All the way from the first book when they had like the defenses to get to the Philosopher's Stone, all the way up into the Ministry of Magic itself. They're all broken by children, literal children.
This is like our earlier conversation about Gen Z right here.
Yeah.
They'll get it done.
Harry, it's got your name on it.
How did he read that?
I
You've
can't
got your
even
name
read
on
that.
it. Like, there's nothing written there, Neville.
Also, it's very conveniently placed on the corner.
Right.
The Room of Prophecies.
I'd just start destroying everything.
Just seeing the one eye like circulate through that fog or mist and that ball is hilarious.
Like, and like a pair of lips too. Like it's a single eye and a pair of lips.
Harry!
I'll never not be convinced that there wasn't a lot more to that prophecy than what he heard, just because he got interrupted.
Yeah. There were two parts. There were two parts of that prophecy, because I remember in the book they said that Voldemort only heard like the second half and like missed the first half, which is why he was so determined to get to Harry.
Snape heard it, didn't he? Wasn't it?
Yeah, Snape heard the whole thing. Well, no, Snape only heard part of it.
Yeah. Snape only heard part of it because the only people that knew the full prophecy were Trelawney and Dumbledore when she had it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what Snape heard, he went and told Voldemort.
Right.
I'm sorry. I've never noticed Lucius Malfoy's face in this scene, but he's over there talking and about to give like dramatic evil monologue, and then Bellatrix laughs. That look that crosses his face is, I'm married into this family and I regret it.
Willingly.
Like,
Fun fact, when they were filming this, and Helena was doing all that stuff, and I was cackling in the back, and Lucius kept turning to her, was like, just concentrate, stop interrupting me. So like that face that you just saw him make is probably like legit, like, you're interrupting my script.
I will admit the Death Eater outfits are very cool looking and very color coordinated. Like they've even got the accessories down pat. Like everybody's wearing silver. Like everybody's wearing like black on black. Like somebody had designed these outfits. Who is the Death Eater stylist? Because that's what I want to know. Where's my HGTV show of Death Eater styling 101?
Right?
Because they're very on point.
Well, at least they fired their last designer because they look like members of the KKK before.
Very true. It's very true because they look much better now. Because that in the fourth movie, whoo, and then the bone masks too. Ooh.
Someone's like, yeah, we can't keep doing this.
I would like to know how a group of 15-year-olds took out trained Death Eaters with Stupefy. Like, you can't be serious.
The amount of damage these kids do in this, like, that everyone does in this room is ridiculous.
Yeah. I would start destroying the walls of prophecies, to cause chaos and distraction. And, like, use an Accio charm to, like, one of those giant things of shelves and get it to collapse.
Isn't that what they do at the Time Turner shelf in the book, is they push it over?
Yeah, I think so.
Did they push it over, or did the giant brains attacking Ron push it over?
Probably both, in all honesty. I want to know what spell that is that they use to like smoke their way around like weird smoke snakes floating through the air. Because it looks so like screw apparition. I want to do that. Like I don't know what it is, but I want to do it.
It seems a lot less dangerous than apparition. Thank you, Neville. Luna's just gonna stand there and let them fall on her.
Yeah.
Look at all the pretty lights falling down.
Also, how many fucking seers has the UK had? Like, Jesus.
Like legit seers.
Yeah. Because that's a lot of prophecies.
Yeah, because only like 2 of those are Trelawney.
Yeah.
How did that not break when they fell, by the way?
Right. How is your first instinct to land with your hand turned upwards and not down? Isn't the veil like in the book? Isn't it some kind of like there's a curtain kind of thing in it, not weird mist?
Yeah, like it's an actual.
Yeah, it was a curtain.
Yeah. I was reading on Pottermore when they first released stuff about it that it had been there like longer than anybody knew, and they didn't know anything about it, like where it came from or anything. It was just there, and it had always like been there.
So they built their ministry around.
I guess that's what was weird to me too. It's just like either you took a huge piece of rock out of the ground and moved it here, or you just built the ministry around it. Because that was weird to me.
They brought a piece of Stonehenge with them.
I mean, maybe this was what was in the middle of Stonehenge. How convenient that there's just happens to be one Death Eater for every kid, and that's the exact amount of Death Eaters. I would just smash it. Like, you heard the prophecy. It doesn't even honestly matter what it says. It could tell you anything. I would smash it just so that they didn't have to hear it.
Right? I wonder if you threw it through the veil, if it would just disappear beyond the veil.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Don't give it to her.
Oh, Neville. Neville and your...
Neville showing his, like, some of his first signs of bravery. So.
Right? His real Gryffindorness. Also,
Right.
please, like, Neville, shut up.
Why?
He looks like he's about to, like, recite Hamlet. Holding that thing up there like that.
Also, how did he get there?
How did you apparate into the ministry?
I'm pretty sure you can't. I'm especially not in this area. The whole,
Yeah.
There's no way.
but they all do.
In a weird glow of angelic light.
Every
Like-
time they aberrate somewhere they're not supposed to be able to aberrate, I think of a Harry Potter musical. And we're like, you can't aberrate inside of Hogwarts, right? Right. And then smack someone.
Couldn't you have moved this fight away from the veil?
You would think so.
Would've
But
been
in the
like-
very beginning, Sirius uses his wand to deflect spells, but his other hand as well. Which I always thought was really cool because he's doing magic with both hands.
That's right, James. It's not James!
I'm more impressed that Sirius, even after like all of the years in Azkaban, still has reflexes that are that good.
Now, did she shoot the curse at him in the book, or did he just fall through the veil?
She used a whip, like a golden whip, and it hit him, and it struck him in the chest, and that made him fall back into the veil.
Yeah, so she didn't
I
actually...
had wanted so much to see that spell because it seemed really cool sounding. Like in the book, it's like it was this giant like golden whip or something that came out, and she flung it, and it hit him right in the chest. And she uses it again at some point. I can't remember what for, but he falls through the veil. It's not the killing curse that hits him; it's just that he falls through the veil.
That's kinda
I
cheap.
feel really bad for Remus at this point. He's literally lost everyone again.
I mean, spoiler alert, he gets to join them in about 2 years.
Oh, yeah. After
Oh,
being in the
that's
most awkward relationship possible. Like, that relationship with Tonks made so little sense. It was so
Zero.
weird.
She likes her older men.
Like, I feel like it was a poor choice on everybody's part. Like, Remus did it out of, like, grief. Oh. Creepy, creepy snake face. Voldemort didn't even use a spell to disarm Harry. He's just like, no.
Slapped and like, not today.
No, he's just like, no.
Bitch, please.
At least Dumbledore came through the fucking fireplace. He didn't apparate into the Ministry. He went through the fireplace.
I shall be gone. You.
Because Dumbledore knows you can't apparate inside the Ministry.
He just only apparition laws are broken for him inside school. He'll obey them everywhere else. Can you imagine how powerful Dumbledore was, like, in his heyday? Like, this is him, like, at 160-something years old. Imagine how powerful he was, like, when he fought Grindelwald. I hope when they do the Fantastic Beasts movies, when they do that fight between the two of them, I hope it's amazing. Because this fight right here between them is really cool. But, like, I hope it's amazing. Yeah. Giant fire snake!
Also, Harry, where are all those defensive spells? You could be protecting yourself with a shield right now.
Yeah, you could be fighting too, like something, anything.
Allowing all those little tiles to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, like, I'm picturing them filming this without any of the CGI. Just, can you imagine these two people at each other just,
That's gotta be the funniest thing.
I think what's interesting is that both of them are doing magic with both hands. Like, proving you don't need a wand to do magic. Like, Dumbledore, when he had that sphere, was using both hands to do it.
And non-verbally.
And whatever the fuck this Shakira, like, dancing move is that Dumbledore does. I'm sorry, but Dumbledore turns all those glass shards, like, into a fine powder. That's probably worse. Because that fine powder of glass just getting everywhere. I just think about that getting in your eyes. That's just like, why didn't you put create a solid barrier or something?
Or like rubber, like just a jello barrier.
Could you imagine Dumbledore in a fight with Voldemort? Jello shield.
Jello shot.
If he could do this, why hasn't he done this before?
Right? Like, Voldemort possesses Harry. Like, why did you wait until now to do this? You could have done this at any point and caused so much chaos and havoc.
I don't think he realized he could until he came back because he has Harry's blood in him now.
Yeah.
He's got that connection.
Like, yeah, he had the whole year to do this. You're telling me at some point when Harry's busy flying on a broom, you couldn't have possessed him and made him fall off the broom and die? Like, there you go. You saved us several books. I would be curious, though. Like, Harry has a piece of Voldemort's soul in him. If Harry himself dies, and, like, it was his soul that died rather than Voldemort's, would Voldemort then have a second body that he's possessing with a different fragment of his soul?
Oh god, that's horrifying.
That's a good question.
I have never considered that until now, because when in the books, when Harry dies, the first part that dies is the additional soul. But if Voldemort could kill Harry's soul rather than his own, he might have two vessels. And then imagine the implications of possessing Harry, killing the original, like, soul of Harry, and then masquerading as Harry for the rest of his time, and, like, being Voldemort in Harry's body from that point forward and masquerading as Harry.
That's a terrifying.
That would be something interesting to read. I would definitely read that.
Voldemort in these scenes is hilarious. Seeing him in, like, Harry's clothes and all the random, like, facial expressions he makes.
It's really weird. This is really strange.
You're a fool. Really?
I'd like to know how he keeps the wand in his hand. His hand is fully open and tilted down. Like, do they have to put, like, a little strap around his finger and, like, hold it so it doesn't fall on the floor?
The bone on the end of it has like a hook on it.
It probably has to have a hook because he's so dramatic. He's open hand gesturing with his wand all the time. Like, oh, look.
I love how, like, Fudge is just like, oh shit, he's back. It's like, we've been telling you that for a year.
It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Thanks. Yeah, in all honesty, if I was the minister, and at this point, the greatest evil that, you know, the country's ever faced is back, I'd just resign. I'd be like, no. And I'm done. I would resign and then leave the country.
Also, I'm sorry, Umbridge is pending investigation? What?
I never heard the results of that investigation. Did anybody else?
No.
Does Umbridge have a lovely little cell in Azkaban somewhere? Because I don't
No, she's
recall
back in
ever
the
reading that.
ministry. She's back in the fucking ministry.
Torture of children with blood magic? What? You slapped a child. Like,
that alone will get you sent to jail.
you would think so, in front of witnesses. And it's just like, okay. The thing about it, too, is like, you can't even accuse these children of lying because you have a pensieve and the Veritaserum. And if you would bother to utilize any resources, you could prove the things that she's done. But, like, she was torturing children with blood magic, and nobody cares. Nobody ever cares, though.
No one cares.
Not about these guys. Not about these poor kids. Dumbledore's excuse of, like, I was distancing myself from you, Harry, on purpose. And it's just, like, hoping that Voldemort wouldn't, like, access your mind and stuff like that. Tell him. Why didn't you tell him that's what's happening to him? He could have actively tried to fight it on a conscious, everyday basis, which would have built up his occlumency shields way faster than random torturous moments with Snape.
And you
and like Harry goes off at Dumbledore, and he's just like, you need to tell me everything from now on, because like we can't do this game again.
Yeah, I would tell him, and I'm just like, we're now creating a third side. It is no longer us versus Voldemort. It's you, Voldemort, and me. 3 separate sides as of this moment.
Harry was way too calm in that scene because it wasn't in the book. He ransacked Dumbledore's.
Yeah, he destroyed Dumbledore's office. But the first thing he did when he got back to Hogwarts was go and grab the mirror shard that he was using to communicate with Sirius, which he never actually used. Like, to communicate with Sirius. He never fucking, like, I don't think
he
that
only
was
used
good
it
characterization.
To Aberforth.
Yeah, like, I don't think Harry not using the mirror was very good characterization of Harry, because he's so desperate to see and talk to Sirius at any given moment, and then he has the opportunity to do it at literally any given time that he wants to, and he never uses it. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would he do that? And like, the one time they do communicate with Harry and Sirius together, they still use the fireplace. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, use the mirror you were actively given. Like, it's stupid. So, Luna dear, how many shoelaces do you have on one shoe? Many. That was a lot of shoelaces on those shoes.
If you're putting up the flyers to collect your things, shouldn't you get your things before you go to the Great Hall?
Probably. Like, she looked at her shoes and then left. I'm like, oh, there they are. I don't need them. I just needed to know where they were. Also, how does Flitwick let these Ravenclaws pick on Luna continuously to the point that she puts up flyers for her shit that's missing? Like, you can't tell me Flitwick or another teacher doesn't see that at some point.
Why doesn't she just Accio all of her stuff?
Yeah, that too.
Like, they'll just show up for wherever it's from.
Where did Harry get this suit jacket that he's wearing? I have never seen Harry wear a suit jacket. That is like Professor Lupin style suit jacket right there.
That's where he got it from. He raided Lupin's closet.
I mean, I guess.
Lupin didn't want it anymore. Here, Harry. You need.
Lupin's like, I'm gonna be spending my time with the werewolves now, so here's all my nice clothes.
I mean, I guess it's just so weird. And why are these children walking towards the lake through the forest? Like, that is not where the train is. It is in Hogsmeade, and you are walking through the forest. Oh, this movie is this movie is something else. Like, that's just all there is to it. This movie is a trip and a half, and then some.
There's so much wrong with this movie.
There's so much wrong with wizards. They're stupid.
I mean, that too.
They're so stupid. Oh, Lord, they're so stupid. There's no common sense anywhere. Ridiculous. Any final thoughts on the Order of the Phoenix or the bullshit they're in?
No. Like,
wizards are exhausting.
It's the half-bloods and the Muggleborns that drive me insane. It's like, you could have prevented so much of this from happening if you just threw in some Muggle world stuff.
It's true. I don't know how much of it is like this takes place in the 90s versus like, because like the solution to communication in this in technicality is not a cell phone like I would immediately think it would be, because there's no real cell phones at this point. But
no, but I'm pretty sure a pager would have worked a lot faster than an owl.
True.
Can you imagine the lingo that wizards would come up with a magical pager? Like, and it would be in the shape of the stupidest part is they would attach the pager to an owl and send an owl.
Yeah, they would.
They're stupid. Like, so you'd hand them a pager. It's like, it's a communication device, and it's like, great. Hand it to the owl. It's just like, oh,
it's like, no.
How did you do this? Like, don't do this. Like, no.
It's like, no, Arthur, you press the button. And then I will get a resounding beep on mine.
Is that how pagers work? You communicate pager to pager? I thought it was phone to pager.
But... I thought it was a page. I don't know, actually. I never had one.
I think it's phone to pager, and then like you call the number of the pager, and you have to hit like that. I've never used a pager before. That was before me.
Like, yeah, my mom had one, but like I don't really know how.
Yeah,
my mom had one, and I never figured out how to use it.
I don't recall my mom having one. I recall her when I was very young having a very early cell phone. I don't recall her ever having a pager. I don't know if she ever had a pager, but I recall her having this brick of a phone that we thought was the coolest thing because we had it, and it was just, I remember that, but I don't remember a pager. Ariel, any final thoughts on the wizarding world, Umbridge, all of the bitchy bullshit?
Umbridge is the worst. Like, the worst.
Seconded, like, Umbridge, number one, worst teacher humanly possible. And coming in at a close second, Snape.
Oh, yes. I've told Misty of my fictional character teacher list, and she's on this one.
It's true.
But the only version of Umbridge that I will accept is from the Harry Potter musical.
Oh, that's fair. That's valid, because Umbridge from the Harry Potter musical is amazing. First of all, it's a guy, and he is huge, and I love it.
And I just want the I am woman, hear me smash on a shirt.
I love that.
For Umbridge. Like, I want that. Like,
that is the only valid version of Umbridge. That's fair. And it's the only valid version of Voldemort either, to be honest with you. Like, yeah. That's the really...
Can I have a picture of Voldemort in Umbridge's clothing? Just in pink.
Actually the same actor.
They're the same actors.
What?
I'm gonna send you the image.
Oh.
Honestly, they're all really... I'm gonna share my screen because they're all just something beautiful. I'm gonna put it on. The many faces of Voldemort Umbridge.
Oh my god!
Like, this... Oh,
there's that moment I was talking about right there.
Yeah, I am woman, hear me smash. Amazing. Like, and this is the same actor that plays Voldemort in it, and it's just
he cute too.
It's bizarre to think he's cute because he's both Voldemort and Umbridge, but he's not bad looking.
No.
And then the one who plays Lucius Malfoy, there he is. That's Lucius Malfoy. And at some point, I think a centaur, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was friends. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays a centaur too, and then there's Snape that's next to him. It's just like it's very dramatic. And
But
like,
oh yes, remember Umbridge is Team Jacob.
that's true. And Voldemort's in love with Zac Efron, I believe. Look, when we finish the 7 movies, we are going to watch the Harry Potter musical. She's never seen the Harry Potter musical.
Oh,
We have to watch we don't have to watch the 3rd one because I wasn't a fan of the 3rd one, but the first 2 are golden. Draco's a girl who's been
I know that Draco's a girl. I know that.
It's in love with Hermione and sings about Hermione and going to the school on the moon, I think it is.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, there's something glorious.
No, Mars, I think.
Mars, yes. Pigfarts is on Mars.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, it's yeah.
And Cho in this is the only Cho I like too, by the way.
That's fair. And she has exactly one line, and it's like Cho Chang, and that's about it. And that's her whole thing. And it's honestly and then that's Dumbledore up here. And next to him is the scarf of sexual preference.
Okay.
It's a beautiful
you can
thing.
either kiss the Dementors or you can kiss Umbridge. I'll kiss the Dementors.
Oh yeah, Umbridge is in love with Dumbledore in this.
Yes, that's true. That's very true. So it's a lot, but it's something truly beautiful in every possible way.
The door, her on the door.
Yep. Oh, it's amazing. That's Draco Malfoy. Like the blonde is Draco Malfoy.
Is that Darren Criss as Harry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what he did before. So, but yeah, no, we will watch this. Like, if I have to sit through Star Wars, we will be watching the Harry Potter musical first, okay?
You act as though you're pulling my leg with this. I want to see this.
It's amazing. And we'll watch the first 2. We'll have to do that because honestly, the best thing to come out of the Harry Potter fandom is this series. Like, it's amazing. So 100% recommend. That's true. The Puppet Palace is pretty funny too. But I there's nothing better than Draco Malfoy on the floor singing about pig farts. Like, it's just, it will always bring me joy. That Umbridge smash, and then like falling, like Voldemort being in love with Zac Efron is just something truly glorious. And yeah, you can't make that shit up. Oh, any final thoughts? Anything else? I think this is the movie that really hammers home how incompetent wizards are, and really just makes all 3 of the trio understand that this is the point where you should give up on the adults and do shit yourself. Of course, most of their problems in the earlier movies could have been avoided by talking to adults at any given point for literally anything.
The only adult that would actually listen to them would have been McGonagall.
And they didn't even try to talk to her. Like, granted, she listened to them when Harry woke up from his dream about Ron's dad. Like, she listened to him like right away. She was like, okay. But that also tells you that Dumbledore was probably telling her about the connection with the dreams before. So she knew about those connections in the dreams, and that's why she believed him and took him directly to Dumbledore. So, like, you know, there's a little give and take. Like, I really like McGonagall, but she has a little bit of too much loyalty for Dumbledore because it is detrimental to everybody else in a lot of ways. So, but yeah. So, Ariel, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ariel.
You're welcome.
It's always fun to have new people on the podcast. So, and you guys will get to hear from Ariel in the future as a part of the D&D. She'll guest star on one of our episodes for us.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be absolutely fun. And Ani has no idea the trolling I'm going to be doing for her in this campaign and the absolute level of holy shit that I'm expecting from them in return. So
I'm excited for the trolling. I feel like Erin is both excited and apprehensive at the same time.
As you both should be.
No.
Yes.
No. Why would I be that way? Like, knowing how I started my friendship with you.
Fair
really?
enough. Yeah, that's fair. That's valid.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Ariel, but like I just walked up to her during one of our shifts and just started spewing like my week, whatever happened to be during the week, whether it was
Lots
school.
Details.
The details on like what happened at school, what happened in class, what happened with whatever date I went on. She's just like, why are you telling me this?
I'm pretty sure Ariel heard it because, like, I was just like, this new girl at work, like, is oversharing some personal details with me. So I'm pretty sure she probably heard that line when it was happening.
What was it? We were Misty and I were in the same class in college. It was a speech class. Yeah. And like, was it you or me that made like an anime reference and then we kind of like looked at each other?
Yeah, it was like that instant connection, like, ooh.
And then we cross each other in the library and it's just fandom. I ship this, you ship that.
We spent 3 hours talking in that library about fandom stuff, and it was downhill from there because the amount of OCs and fan fiction stuff you and I have created together. Ariel and I have created worlds, like genuine worlds, and only one of which is the American Wizarding world. Yeah, so many things. The amount of detail that we put into these fandoms, the amount of time and effort we spent into creating like the Naruto stuff, and then all of that was the longest one. That's years of planning and stuff.
That took the most work.
It did. Oh my god, because fucking Naruto's complicated, and at some point involves like a time dimension hopping goddess, and just oh god. Which we all just kind of ignore. Like, we just that's not that didn't happen.
It's fine.
But created our own American Wizarding world. We've created quite a bit. So
we have a few HP.
We have multiple Harry Potter AUs. Yeah, we do. There's the time traveling one, and then there's the normal one. There's the American. There's the Marauders era one. There's the American Wizarding World one. So that was. We've done a lot. We've created a lot of things. So our friendship started with fandoms, and it kept going. Like we did another fandom. We did Haikyuu last year or something. Yeah, it was like last year, I think. So like it's so much fun. Like it's so much fun to do it. So wish we had more time to do it more often, but.
Well, when we find another fandom that screws up, like if My Hero screws themselves over, we can fix that too.
Look, if My Hero Academia fucks up the way some of our other fandoms have done, like I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna just no. If Bakugo dies at the end of this series, I'm done. Like fuck it all. And yes, I am caught up on the series. Like he's in the middle of that uncertain point of whether he's dead or not, and I'm just like, I'm gonna be.
I know. Pissed. I'm not actually caught up. I keep telling Gray, I'm like, we need to read.
Yeah. Like, I keep getting articles about it, and it pisses me off, and I'm just like, he better not die. I'm gonna kill somebody.
I only found out about it because something happened. That happened, and then Haikyuu got some news, and it was like Bakugo had to die for this. I'm like, what? I was just trolling Haikyuu stuff, not My Hero.
Yep.
So I had to go.
Look, that author likes to do shit, so. But, okay, well, I do believe we have finished Order of the Flame Bird. Oh, well, we very much appreciate having you on, Ariel. And the episode, I think, will come out in a couple weeks, several weeks. We have
3 weeks?
3 weeks? Yeah, something like 3 weeks from now. So, but we'll let you know. So when it's released. So it'll be split into 2 parts. So it'll be 2 episodes. So, because I split the movies in half. So, But yeah, so it's an interesting ride, a wild ride. Harry Potter movies only get weirder from here, and stick around for the next parts, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, thank you, Ariel.
Thank you, Ariel.
It was fun.
Where did I leave it?
It was fun.
Ah, here it is.
There we go. Alrighty, I'm gonna go check the recording, make sure everything's all good to go. So
Perfect. And we've had guests. My mom walks into the patio at like 10, 11 in the morning, and she's like, "You're recording tonight, right?" I'm like, "Yes." Why? Why are you? Why? She's like, "Well, I have guests coming over tonight. They wanted to come over." I'm like, "As long as you guys stay outside, and don't enter this patio, we're good." She's like, "Oh, they can come?" I'm like, "I just said, do not come in this patio, and it's fine."
Yeah. Like, it's fine. Like, not gonna ban you from having your friends over, Mom. Like, geez. Well, it's nice that she's, courteous about it, though. So.
Oh yeah. So they've been sitting outside, and my dad was like, "Hey, we can if you get hot, we can open a window." I'm like, "Dad, I don't want your voices in the podcast." He's like,
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'm like,
like, we'll have to have like a little note guest starring also, and then all of your friends and family. It's like a sub list on there.
No, Ray left. He went to work, I think. I think you might have heard. I think Athena might have barked once.
It's okay. There's throughout all of our episodes, there's a cat and dog somewhere.
Oh yeah, you hear my dog. You hear a little bit. You hear Cookie.
Yeah, there's always one animal guest star at least. So we need to start adding them in there, like guest starring also, like Cookie. So, because Cookie's our most frequent visitor, I believe.
Oh, you know what I should do? I should ask Jessica to create an Illustrator image of Cookie.
Oh, there you go. That would be cute. Aww.
Yeah, I should do that right now. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Tune in next week for more fuckery because we have some serious questions and concerns. Flame Bird!
Flame Bird! Which is a much better name than Phoenix.
And student abuse.
And student abuse. Order of the Student Abuse Flame Bird.